numbers are staggering.
We've never seen this other than playing video games.
Right there, ready to throw. Touchdown. Blake C. struck. Is loose. Goodbye. Touchdown. This offense is razor sharp.
The Baylor Bears, first ever Big 12 title.
Clark Riles told our Travis Haney, quote, "The tone has greatly changed after the program won the league title in 2013. There's mojo. There's a swagger factor. We want to prepare and practice as a hunted football team. They'll say now that the Big 12 goes through Waco, Texas." He also said, quote, "We were dang good on that side of the ball on defense." And being a guy from the South, I just wanted to throw that out there. But, Joe, when you think about the Big 12, does that road now, does it go through Waco, Texas?
No, I mean, kudos to them for a great season, a beautiful stadium that they're building, but it still goes through Norman, Oklahoma. In fact, I checked the schedule. Baylor plays at Oklahoma. Oklahoma State plays at Oklahoma. Believer in Trevor Knight, believer that Oklahoma, you want to talk about swagger? Okay, the Baylor offense is working. Oklahoma has regained all its swagger on defense. It is a scary defense. They're the clear preseason favorite.
They're the preseason favorite for me, too. I think it definitely goes through Norman, quite literally in this case, between Baylor. Baylor has to go there to Norman. That defense, 9 starters back on that side of the ball. Mike Stoop has changed that scheme up, got those guys playing with a lot of energy, and couldn't say enough great things about Trevor Knight. Now, they're going to have some issues on the outside, got to replace some receivers on the outside, a couple offensive linemen gone, but I think Oklahoma definitely the favorite in the Big 12.
Let's talk about some of the other Power 5 conferences. Let's talk about the Big 10. Where does the road to the championship go through in the Big 10?
It's Ohio State. The Ohio State University, some might say. You know, Braxton Miller going to have 4 offensive linemen that he's going to have to replace, but let's talk about defense again. I hate saying it as a former offensive guy myself, you know, but defense wins the championships, and that defense is going to be very solid. And much better scheme now under Chris Ash, who's coming from Arkansas, had been at Wisconsin. I think that scheme's going to be better, but they got a lot of experience there as well.
They needed to make a change on defense, and when I spoke to Ash in the offseason, he talked about how we're going to blitz a lot. We've been studying the Seattle Seahawks secondary. Our corners are going to press. We're going to be more aggressive. We talked about identity a few minutes ago. Hey, they started the last 2 years 12-0, right? 12-0. They got to be the favorite.
So both of you Norman, both of you Columbus. What about
we're chalk kind of guys.
What about the ACC? I'm guessing you're going to stay chalk in this one too, right, Joe?
Am I going to bet against Jameis Winston and Jimbo Fisher and those big uglies on the offensive line and all those exciting, explosive young players on defense? Absolutely not. Plus, talk about where does the road go through. Clemson visits Tallahassee. The Irish visit Tallahassee. The Gators visit Tallahassee. I'm going to have to visit Tallahassee.
I'm going Florida State, too. Now, we lost a couple of those receivers on the outside once again. All 5 of those guys back along that offensive line. You can't say enough great things
when you go
about
to Tallahassee, you go to Kens and Bullwinkles. That's where you should head. Let's go to the Pac-12 on this one. Now, you've been in agreement through the first 3. Just saying L.A. isn't going to be good enough. You might have to decipher what part of L.A. that road goes through if you so choose that route.
I'm choosing Eugene.
Whoa, all
Eugene. I'm saying Eugene. I like Oregon. And Marcus Mariota last year, the numbers were down, but the knee was injured, and clearly he operates better as a mobile quarterback. When he is a dual-threat guy, he's a very dangerous player. Now, obviously, speed all across the field.
Yep.
Once again, some guys to replace on the defensive side of the ball, but I think Alioti does a great job with scheme on that defense, bringing those guys along much more solid defensively in the last couple of years than they had been previously.
Those Oregon Ducks and the USC Trojans and the Stanford Cardinal all pay a visit to UCLA. I'm not a big schedule guy, but it has to be.
But you can use it.
Well, because that's the the theme here, right? So the road goes through Pasadena. I believe in Brett Hundley as a Heisman finalist. I believe that Miles Jack will be the most dominant linebacker in college football this year. No reason in my mind not to believe that UCLA will be the first Pac-12 representative in the Final Four.
Miles Jack, he might take a few handoffs, too.
Might, but maybe fewer than he did last year. And that road, by the way, going through Pasadena, you better get out early to deal with that traffic in L.A. All right, finally, the SEC. What do you think? We have some disagreement here because it's more wide open than it's been, I think.
Some folks like Auburn. I noticed today that they were already installed as a 6-point underdog in a game against Alabama in, guess where? Tuscaloosa. All right. I believe in Jacob Coker. I believe that LSU and Texas A&M have question marks at the quarterback position. I'm all in on Alabama.
And you believe in Jacob Coker, so you're removing Coker from the question marks, because you're talking about question marks with some other folks.
No,
all right.
He's an answer, not a question.
A lot of people believe in Jacob Coker. Coker. Jimbo Fisher said that he's going to be the best quarterback that Nick Saban's had since he's been at Alabama. And you combine that with the defense, that defensive line, Ashawn Robinson, Deshaun Hand. These guys along the defensive line are going to be special this year.
All right, well, Michigan hopes that they're just better this year. Forget about being special, but no Navy SEAL training for the Wolverines this summer as Brady Hoke has decided to cancel the senior trip. Will his decision reverse the Wolverines' fortunes in Ann Arbor? Tweet us your thoughts. Hashtag waning Wolverines. And Michigan appears to be the leader for the services of one high school quarterback, last name Miles. Yeah,